Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishthikim. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, The Killing of the Demon Putana, from text 1 to 18. Sukadeva Goswami, text 1. Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, while Nanda Maharaj was on the way home, he considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. There must have been some danger of disturbances in Gokula. As Nanda Maharaj thought about the danger of his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid. He took shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Controller. Text 2. While Nanda Maharaj was returning to Gokula, the same fierce Putana, whom Kamsa had previously engaged to kill babies, was wandering about in the towns, cities, and villages, doing her nefarious duty. Text 3. My dear king, wherever people in any position perform their occupational duties of devotional service by chanting and hearing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, there cannot be any danger from bad elements. Therefore, there was no need for anxiety about Gokula, which, while the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present. Text 4. Once upon a time, Putana Rakshasi, who could move according to her desire and was wandering in outer space, converted herself by mystic power into a very beautiful woman and thus entered Gokula, the abode of the Nanda Maharaja. Text 5 to 6. Her lips were full, her breasts were large and firm, seeming to overburden her slim waist, and she was dressed very nicely. Her hair, adorned with a garland of mallika flowers, was scattered about her beautiful face. Her earrings were brilliant, and as she smiled, very attractively glancing upon everyone, her beauty drew the attention of all the inhabitants of Praja, especially the men. When the gopis saw her, they thought that the beautiful goddesses of fortune, holding a lotus flower in her hand, had come to see her husband Krishna. Text 7. While searching for small children, Putana, whose business was to kill them, entered the house of Nanda Maharaja, unobstructed, having been sent by the superior potency of the Lord. Without asking anyone's permission, she entered Nanda Maharaja's room, where she saw the child sleeping in bed. His unlimited power covered like a powerful fire covered by ashes. She could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons. Text 8. Lord Sri Krishna, the all pervading super soul lying on the bed, understood that Putana, a witch who was expert in killing small children, had come to kill him. Therefore, as if afraid of her, Krishna closed his eyes. Thus, Putana took upon her lap. Putana took upon her lap him who was to be her own annihilation, just as an unintelligent person places a sleeping snake on his lap, thinking the snake to be a rope. Text 9. Putana Rakshasi's heart was fierce and cruel, but she looked like a very affectionate mother. Thus, she resembled a sharp sword in a soft sheath. Although seeing her within the room, Yashoda and Rohini, overwhelmed by her beauty, did not stop her, but remained silent because she treated the child like a mother. Text 10. On that very spot, the fiercely dangerous Rakshasi took Krishna on her lap and pushed her breast into his mouth. The nipples of her breast were smeared with a dangerous, immediately effective poison, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, becoming very angry at her, took hold of her breast, squeezed it very hard with both hands, and sucked out both both the poison and her life. Text 11. Unbearably pressed in every vital point, the demon Putana began to cry, "Please leave me, suck my breast no longer." Perspiring, her eyes wide open and her arms and legs flailing, she cried very loudly again and again. Text 1. As Putana screamed loudly and forcefully, the earth with its mountains and outer space with its planets trembled. The lower planets at all directions vibrated, and people fell down, fearing that thunderbolts were falling upon them. Text 13. In this way, the demon Putana, very much aggrieved because her breasts were being attacked by Krishna, lost her life. O King Parikshit, opening her mouth wide and spreading her arms, legs, and hair, she fell down in the pasteurizing ground in her original form as Rakshasi, as Vratrasura had fallen when killed by the thunderbolt of Indra. Text 14. O King Parikshit, when the gigantic body of Putana fell to the ground, it smashed all the trees within a limit of 12 miles. Appearing in a gigantic body, she was certainly extraordinary. Text 15 to 17. The Rakshasi's mouth was full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plough. Her nostrils were deep like mountain caves, and her breast resembling big slabs of stone fallen from a hill. Her scattered hair was the color of copper. The sockets of her eyes appeared like deep blind wells. Her fearful thighs resembled the banks of a river. Her arms, legs, and feet seemed like big bridges, and her abdomen appeared like a dried up lake. The heart, the hearts, ears, and head of the cowherd men and women were already shocked by the Rakshasi's screaming, and when they saw the fierce wonder of her body, they were even more frightened. Text 18. Without fear, the child Krishna was playing on the upper portion of Putana Rakshasi's breast. And when the gopis saw the child's wonderful activities, they immediately came forward with great jubilation and picked him up. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prashanti Mataji, for writing today's translations. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. We'll start with the brief prayers and discuss wonderful childhood pastime of Krishna today, which we have been awaiting for so long, couple of years. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We are discussing sixth chapter from 10th canto titled The Killing of Demon Putana. So if you read the translation of first verse, we heard so far from our previous sessions, Grace Vamsivadhan Prabhu was mentioning about Nandotsav, and where Nanda Maharaj has given donations according to the educational qualifications, where we should be satisfied with whatever we get in our life with the arrangement of providence. And satisfaction gives us it gives us the happy life. And we also heard how when devotees who are separated for a very long time, when they come together, how they were enlivened, as if the dead bodies came alive, like that, as if dead person became alive, like that. We have heard how the very soft relations between the devotees were described between Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev. Naikatra Priya Samvasaha. So that verse is so beautiful. And here in this verse it is said, "My dear king," while Nanda Maharaja was on the way home, he considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. There must have been some danger of disturbances in Gokula. As Nanda Maharaja thought about the danger for his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid, and he took shelter at the lotus feet of Supreme Controller. Imagine he was traveling in forest, and he's trying to reach Gokula, and as soon as he can, to try to see how he can protect his child Krishna. So this is the anxiety he has now. Uh, we have at every and this is mentioned in the purport that anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. It is advised in Bhagavad Gita that this world is anityam, asukham. It is temporary, and it's full of disturbances and full of obstructions, full of dangers. And therefore, a devotee has no other course than taking shelter of lotus feet of Lord Krishna. When he comes across a danger, he takes shelter of Krishna. He has no other course other than that. But one may question, isn't it that when we take shelter of Krishna, we're supposed to be relieved of shoka, moha, bhaya, right? Eshyam vaishruyamananam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirudbhaddhite pumsam shoka moha bhaya apaha. The lamentation, the illusion, and the bhaya, the fear, all these should actually immediately uh, subside. But here, Lord Himself is personally present in the Gokula. Why is that Nanda Maharaj is still fearful? So it is described, is fearful out of affection, and is not fearful about his own self. He's not fearful that he is his son. He is fearful for the affection and the devotion that he has, and that affection is covering the fearlessness that he naturally gets because he's a sadhana, uh, he's eternally liberated associate of the Lord. There is no chance of fear in them, right? And baby Krishna liberates. How the Putana is liberated, we will see for the first 18 verses. In the second verse, translation goes like this. While Nanda Maharaja was returning to Gokula, the same fierce Putana whom Kamsa had previously engaged to kill babies was wandering about in the towns, cities, and villages doing her nefarious duty. My God, this is such atrocious activities that Kamsa has uh, has befriended with so many demons like this. Now he dispatched this baby catcher, Putana, the baby snatcher, to come and kill all the babies in the towns and the villages around uh, Mathura. Now she is engaged in that nefarious duty. So verse number 3, it is said, "My dear king, whenever people in any position perform their occupational duties of devotional service by chanting, hearing, there cannot be any danger from bad elements. Therefore, there was no need of anxiety of Gokula while Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present." Let's recite this verse. This is very important verse. Nayatra Sravanadini Rakshoghyani Swakarmashu Kurvanti Satvatam Bhartur Yatu Dhanyascha Tatrahi. Nayatra Shravanadini, where the glorious acts of Lord Krishna were discussed or heard, right, or chanted his holy names. Rakshoghyani Swakarmashu, these evil living entities, the influence of them will be vanquished, right? Just by being Swakarmashu, just by engaging in their regular duties and doing this important act of hearing and and speaking about Krishna Katha. Just by doing this importantly, just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can get a protection from these dangerous evils. Raksho Jnani, Kurvanti Satvatam Bhartur Yatudhanis Chatatrahi. And all the disturbing elements. What are the Yatudhana means? Yatudhana means a demon who is very who has a lot of magical powers and who actually snatches the babies and eats, who actually cause destruction, cause danger to the people in general. They cause disturbance in society. So such evil powers are recorded, not so common, but they have been recorded in different times and places. And when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, actually we get relief from all these influences of the bad, evil elements. That is what is described here. So let's also, I will try to narrate a story, the real incident that happened. There was a haunted house, and the power of Sankirtana, if you see, in that haunted house, it was late in around 1960s, there when London was actually it was draped in the mist, gray mist, and the Srila Prabhupada had recently arrived in the London city, and his disciples were eager to assist him in spreading the Krishna conscious movement. Right, the devotees had arranged for Srila Prabhupada to stay at this grand estate, old English mansion. And what happened was, it's a very nice estate with so many gardens, high ceilings. Um, it has a elegance, a lot of but there is something uh, beneath this charm of that estate that is lurking and what is that is uh, unsetting its reputation despite its looks, and it was actually said to be haunted by some ghosts. And locals whispered that a ghost was living there. Every night it comes out, and strange sounds will echo through the halls, and it chills the people who are living in that house. And when the devotees learned of this, their hearts were trembled slightly. And then what did they do? They were, because they are very young, they were in their teenage, some of them, right? Most of them, they were young and new to spiritual life, and they thought that it is very dangerous to be here. So one evening, as devotees gathered around Srila Prabhupada, they voiced their concerns, and Prabhupada hesitatingly said, was told, actually, Prabhupada was hesitatingly told that people say that there is a ghost here, and it comes every night. Srila Prabhupada simply responded to them with calm, filled with authority. He said, and when he was mentioning, his eyes were sparkling and with compassion. And what did he say? Yes, there are ghosts everywhere, but wherever there is a chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, ghosts cannot remain, and they will be forced to leave. This is what Srila Prabhupada said. And the devotees felt a wave of relief when they heard it from Prabhupada, and they chanted. So chant Hare Krishna, he instructed, and perform Sankirtana, drive away those ghosts, like that Srila Prabhupada said. And then that night, the devotees gathered in the grand hall of that big mansion, where the lights of the candles were flickering because of the ghostly influence. And they began to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Somebody started doing kartal, and big Sankirtan has started, and the sound grew louder and louder, and every corridor was filled with the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and the atmosphere immediately transformed. And now what happened? The same ghostly atmosphere was there earlier. immediately became so serene. All the ghostly influences were disappeared, melted away when the chanting was happening. That replaced by a sense of sacredness. And Prabhupada later remarked, in London, there are so many ghosts, but they cannot stay where the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is chanted. That is the power of the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, the descriptions of Krishna Katha. And wherever it is happening, there cannot be a place for evil influences. And I'll also try to say some small pastime of Giriraj Maharaj, where and he was telling his experience with Srila Prabhupada in chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. Once actually Srila Prabhupada told Juhu devotees to chant 12 hours a day, do a Sankirtan 12 hours a day. And there was a reaction naturally. Oh, Prabhupada, we have so many services. We are looking after this, we are looking after that, deity worship, and then we have to go out, distribute books. Then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, every Sunday do 12 hours at the temple, all of you together. Then at that time, Giriraj Maharaj was a brahmachari. He's a temple president. And there are usually so many problems in any temple, right? Usually there are so many administration issues, management issues. Usually there are so many problems. So after chanting 12 hours a day on a particular Sunday, everybody noticed that problems went away. And so from that point onwards, Giriraj Maharaj has been having one strategy. Whenever somebody comes with a problem, let's say one person comes with a problem that can wait. Let's say it reported on Wednesday. Maharaj used to say that, wait, I'll think about it. Wait until Sunday. That's how he used to respond to the devotees. And devotees chant together on Sunday. And this type of Krishna conscious management is what Agraj Maharaj was experiencing in his temple management duties, where chanting of Hare Krishna mantra was solving all the problems, material problems and spiritual, all the problems that we have. So even Vishwarup tells Indra in 6th canto, 8th chapter, and why did Indra was approached? Why did Indra approach Vishwarup? It is described because he was in problem and he needs some solution. So he needed help of Vishwarup. At that time, Vishwarup told to Indra, may the glorification of transcendental name, form, qualities, paraphernalia of Supreme Personality Godhead protect us from the influence of bad planets, meteors, envious human beings, serpents, scorpions, animals like tigers and wolves. May it protect from the ghosts and the material elements like earth, water, fire, air. May it also protect us from the lightning our past sins. We are always afraid of these hindrances to our auspicious life. Therefore, may they all be completely destroyed by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, if chanting itself has no anxiety and no will cause no a situation of no anxiety and no obstacles, what happens if one worships Vishnu heartily, right? That is another thing we can think of and nicely worship the Lord. And Putana's arrival was described once upon a time. Putana Rakshashi, who could move according to her desire, was wandering in outer space, converted herself by mystic power into a very beautiful woman, and thus entered Gokula, the abode of Nanda Maharaj. The Rakshashis in those days, they had the capacity to travel in outer space without machines. And some parts of India, there are still mystical witches who can sit on a stick and use it to fly from one place to another in a very short time. This art is known to Putana. Prabhupada is writing this purport back in 1976. And I guess she flew to outskirts, landed, and then walked into Gokula. And by the influence of Lord's Leela Shakti, it is mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What is the purpose of Putana's advent here? How could Putana enter such a dangerous woman to Gokula, which is sheltered by Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna himself give protection to Gokula. How come Putana entered there? Putana could enter Gokula as if invited, by the death to be killed. First of all, to be killed, she was invited. And the second reason it is mentioned, Vrajavasis allowed Putana to enter their homes without restriction because it is the will of Krishna. And the next verse, the beauty of Putana was described. She is causing the illusion as if she is such a beautiful, pious woman. And Anand Vrindavan Chempu explains the beauty of Putana. How does she, when Vrajavasis saw Putana, they were mocking famous personalities of heaven, apsaras of heaven, comparing her with the beauty, all of them with the beauty of Putana. Oh, Urvashi, you are best of the heavenly damsels, but in the presence of Putana, you are no more than a beggar. Oh, Alambhushe, there is no use of maintaining your garden or bamboos of pride any longer. It has now been crushed. Oh, Rambhe, you will very soon be crushed to be a frog. All my followers now laugh heartily at you. Oh, Chitralekhe, your captivating form now appears like uh, a set of lines of a painting. Oh, Tilottame, your glorious fame has dwindled to nil. Like that, they were all mocking. It is mentioned that Rajavasis were mocking, seeing the beauty of the heavenly damsels, comparing with the beauty of Putana. So everyone wondered about her identity. In this, is this lady presiding deity of goddess of fortune? That's what everybody was wondering. Is she the goddess of fortune of three worlds? They get speculating, and they concluded it must be Lakshmi Devi only in person. But who knows? Yoga Swami says Leela Shakti, to increase the Lord's pastime sweetness and pastime potency, manifests among the friends and enemies also. So in this case, it manifested both in the case of Putana, and pastime potency also manifested her influence, the beauty on the Brajavasis also. Even reflection of Leela potency attracts the senses of devotees. Even reflection. And this is why the Vrajavasis were attracted to her. It is Lord's will only. So that is what was happening. This is the reflection of Leela Shakti Putana attracting senses of Vrajavasis. And Manoharantim, the reflection of Lord's potencies, Putana attracted her heart of Vrajavasis. Putana was charming and beautiful. That these are the two reasons why it is described Manoharantim. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurji comments, Putana was a killer of children, baby catcher, Balagraham. And she saw a Sishu. Though he is Asadantakam, he kills all the, ill-motivated demons. And he appeared very easy to be killed to such demons. Thereby they will approach to kill Krishna, but instead he is going to kill those demons. So conceal his unlimited prowess, just as a fire concealed by ashes. That is how it is described. And then the next verse, while searching for the small children, Putana, whose business was to kill them, entered the house of Nanda Maharaja unobstructed, having been sent by the superior potency of the Lord. Without asking anyone's permission, she entered Nanda Maharaja's room, where she saw the child sleeping in the bed, his unlimited power covered like a powerful fire covered by ashes. And she could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons. That's what she understood. Agnim iva ahitam bhasi, like a powerful fire covered by ashes. Bhujan Prabhu states three reasons for uh, Putana's coming to Vrindavan. Leela Shakti sent her, Kamsa sent her, and she came by her own desire also. Previous story, there is a pastime behind that. We'll hear it later in later classes. And Next verse, number 8, Putana places Krishna on her lap. It is described, right? And how the Lord is described, Anantam Aropayad Ankam Antakam, the source of her own destruction, Antakam, Anantam, who is unlimited, who cannot be limited and she cannot seize him. But what Putana is thinking, let me put the baby Krishna on my lap and kill him. Anantam Aropayedankam, by putting her, try to put on the lap of her. Yatha uragam suptam abuddhi rajjudhi. As if somebody is thinking a, a poisonous snake to be a rope, ignorantly putting on her lap. Like that, Putana is putting baby Krishna without knowing the consequences. She was not intelligent enough to understand that she was taking a sleeping snake on her lap, and she thought the snake to be an ordinary rope. Antak, Antakam and Anantam are contradictory, and Putana thought she could kill her Antakam, the source of annihilation, but because he is Ananta, unlimited, no one can kill him. Why did Krishna close his eyes? It is mentioned right in this verse. Nimili tekshana, characharatma sa nimili ksheretana, nimili tekshana. The one who is living, dwelling in the hearts of every single living entity, moving and non-moving. How come he is closing the eyes by seeing Putana? Why? Why did he do that? To show his fear. It is multiple reasons were given by acharyas. To show his fear as an infant baby. And Putana would not be able to see his eyes directly. He doesn't, he doesn't want Putana to see his eyes directly. Second reason. The third reason, to avoid seeing such an evil person like Putana. And fourth one, to avoid overpowering her with his glance. Uh, Krishna's vision is very powerful. So he is trying to not overpower her by looking at her. He wants to continue the pastime there. To avoid making the violence auspiciousness by the touch of his auspicious glance. Another reason. To avoid shame of killing a woman acting as a mother. He doesn't want to, she is acting like a mother, but she's not, she's a witch. But still, he wants to avoid that shame of killing a woman. That's why he is closing his eyes, baby Krishna. To avoid seeing the ghastliness of Putana's death. That is another reason. Understanding that she was a killer of children. That's why he doesn't want to see her face. This is another reason. So the next verse is mentioned. Tam tikshana chittam ativama cheshtitam. Putana Rakshasi's heart was fierce and cruel, but looked like a very affectionate mother. Ativama cheshtitam. But her heart is filled with so much dangerous uh, schemes of killing Krishna. Tikshana chittam, her consciousness is very cruel. But outwardly, what she's appearing as Ativama chishtitam. She's appearing like a wonderful mother who is so caring. Sometimes a beautiful woman is dangerous because everyone being captivated by external beauty, Maya Mohita, is unable to understand what is in her mind. Maya Mohita, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnum, Prabhupada says. And Nabhi janati mam ebhyaha param avyayam. Because of this Maya Mohita, because people are bewildered, deluded by the three modes, the whole world does not know me. People will not be able to understand Krishna, know about his existence, who is above the modes of material nature and who is inexhaustible. That is mentioned in 7.13 of Bhagavad Gita. And the mohitam nabhijanati mamedbhya paramapyam tribhir gunamaye bhavair ebhi sarvam idam jagat. All the living entities in the whole world, all the people in the whole world are always Maya Mohita. Most of them are Maya Mohita. And people here, of course, two mothers, Rohini and Ashoda, were not Maya Mohita. They are captivated by Yoga Maya, which is the internal potency of the Lord, facilitating the pastimes of Krishna. Such Maya Moha is the action of Yoga Maya. here in this situation. So she is exactly like a well covered with grass to catch a wild elephant, it is described. Although assumed the form of a desired creeper, she is like a poisonous plant, Putana. Displaying motherly affection, Putana held baby in her lap. Mother Rohini wondered, is this woman Bhagavati Gauri, Mother Parvati? Or is she presiding deity of material elements? Is she a consort of Indra? Is she queen of Varuna? Like that she kept thinking. Uh, has she appeared here to display affection towards my son? Thinking thus, they did not prevent her from offering her breast milk to the baby. Putana is now offering the milk to the baby, who is unknown lady. But still, because they were thinking, influenced by Yoga Maya Shakti of Krishna, they did not obstruct Putana. Yashoda thought, I am a mother. Am I the mother, or this woman is the mother of this child? Fearlessly, she is picking up Putana, baby on her lap, and compassionate Lord, who is absolute knowledge, personified, acted unaware of situation, accepting Putana as the mother. So we have to remember Bhaktivinoda Thakurji's uh, teachings here. Putana is representing a cheating guru here. What is the comparison between a demoness Putana and a cheating guru? The philosophy is very attractive. The speech given by some gurus are very attractive, but ulterior motives, materialistic motives, they are like poison mixed. Baby is being fed with milk, which is nutritious. But if you add poison to it, is it is it helpful at all? It appears that you are giving nutrition, but it is not. This is exactly what a cheating guru does if we try to take nutrition from such a guru. She makes everyone believe she will nourish and foster absolute truth, but her intention is to kill absolute truth. These cheating gurus will reduce the prominence of absolute truth. They try to say something which is not mentioned in our revealed scriptures, Vedas, for their personal gain. This cheating guru gives poison, he gives milk and poison together. You will not be able to detect also. That is the biggest problem. You will not be able to detect that there is poison mixed. Very nice pastimes. They discuss Krishna Katha, this and that. Along with milk, they add little poison there, venom. And people think this is wonderful, then poison comes. So many of us have associated with false gurus from YouTube, etc., etc., in person, in our past. But by Krishna's mercy, we were brought under the umbrella of bona fide Guru Parampara, right? Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And only Krishna can digest poison. We cannot. So we should not supposed to take shelter under cheating gurus. So baby Krishna is now going to suck the Putana's life. And Putana pushed into the Krishna's mouth her breast, which was smeared with a dangerous poison. Just by touching such a venom, it could cause death. But Krishna angrily squeezed her breast hard and with both hands and sucked both poison and life air out of her. And Lord Krishna was not angry at Putana for his own sake. Rather, he was angry because the Rakshashi had killed so many children in Vrindavan. Therefore, he decided that she should be punished. That's why she is being punished. Lord is being very kind here, actually, even to such a witch. Putana loudly cried, please leave me. Please leave me. Suck my breast no longer. Being pressed in very vital point, she was respiring, her eyes wide open, her arms and legs flailing. She's moving her legs and uh, hands wildly. And what happened? Rakshashi was severely punished by Krishna. She threw her arms and legs about, and Krishna also began to kick her with his legs to punish her properly for mischievous activities. When Putana was loudly screaming thus, what happened? The earth, the whole earth along its mountains started shaking. Oh, the outer space with its planets trembled. The lower planets and all the directions vibrated. The people fell down fearing that thunderbolts were falling upon us. That is how dangerous. So such demons we don't have in these days. My goodness, right? Such a dangerous demon, Putana. And she lost her life, it is described. And she's as long as 12 miles. And baby Krishna throwed her away from from the Vraja, the Gokula, so that she doesn't fall on the huge body of Putana, 12 miles long, doesn't fall on the houses and people don't get harmed. She He throwed her away. Guess where did she fell? She fell on the garden of Kamsa. And as soon as she fell, the whole garden got spoiled of Kamsa. And the trees were crushed, houses were crushed, and that's how it happened. And because of O King Parikshit, when gigantic body of Putana fell on the ground, it smashed all the trees within a limit of 12 miles. So next, in 15 to 17, Putana's dead body was described. Oh my God, it's very ghastly actually. Mouth full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plow. Nostrils were deep like mountain caves, and scattered hair was in the color of copper. Her eye sockets appeared like a deep, very deep blind wells. And that is how it is described. And Gopas and Gopis, when they saw her fierce body, they were frightened. And earlier to this, they were also shocked by her screaming. Their hearts were perturbed when they heard her screams. It was so loud, actually. And now, seeing Mother Yashoda's Rohini lying unconscious and not finding Krishna, the gopis went outside the house and saw Krishna playing on Putana. That is what is described in 18th chapter. Now, that baby Krishna is a real personality of Godhead, because whether a child or a grown-up young man, he is same person. Krishna doesn't have to grow big in order to kill such dangerous demons. Being a baby, he can do the needful. He does not need to become powerful by meditation or any other external endeavors. Wait, after 1 year you will see my power. He doesn't need all that. He's already powerful eternally. And therefore, that's why he's Supreme Lord. When the greatly powerful Putana expanded her body, Krishna remained the same small child and fearlessly played on the upper portion of her breast, right? That indicates that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Always full in all potencies, whatever form he is in. And he can display all potencies under any circumstances. So this is it, dear devotees. Thank you so much for your patience. I will conclude today's Srimad Bhagavatam. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ruchi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a very nice class. Thank you all devotees for joining the class today.
Thank you.